Myself, Dr. Kinjal Bhatt. I'm an assistant professor at Department of Biochemistry and Biotechnology. So we have given an activity to the final year students of Self-Finance Biotechnology course, where they have made several models. So the basic concept of this event was to create some environmentalists which can contribute to the mitigation of various environmental problems, and the students have made several models related to some environmental biotechnology, where they have given various ideas how we can solve various environmental problems. So this is for the first time we are initiating something for the sake of our environment, and the event was totally it was done by our students of TYSFPT.
My name is Vasundhara Dheer, and here are my group members Apurva Kumari, Janki Amin, Shreya Nair. We are presenting you with the model of biofuel. To be precise, we are making bioethanol. Bioethanol is basically ethanol that is made from organic crops and vegetable oils. The crop that we have selected for our model is sugarcane crop. The sugarcane crop from here is collected to the factory where the juice is extracted and the bagasse is collected. The collected bagasse can be used for making manure and other byproducts. It can be used for making heat and electricity. The extracted juice is taken to the pre-treatment where they are constantly aerated using rotors, and some enzymes are added to pre-treat it. After the pre-treatment, the treated material is taken to fermentation broth where enzymes and microbes like yeast are added to ferment it. The collected material is then transferred to the distillation broth where we call it beer. In the distillation process, the advantage is taken of ethanol and water, the difference in the boiling point. Since ethanol has a boiling point of 87 degrees, it will be collected and it will be transferred to the collection tube. Now all the material, that is the waste material collected at the end of distillation, is transferred and called Venice. It can be used for manure, generation of electricity. Here we have portrayed how it can be used in the form of manure, how even the cars can run on bioethanol and all the electricity lines. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My group mate Yesha Raj and myself Fatima Jamali, we are going to present a project on rainwater harvesting by telling all of you a story on a family with the family head Mr. Rajesh. They are facing a big problem about water scarcity. Their groundwater has been completely depleted. And this is not something that only they are facing. The whole world is facing the same problem of water scarcity. What solution are they going to find out now? So the teenage son of Mr. Rajesh studies in St. Xavier's College, and he finds out a solution. The solution is to create a rainwater harvesting unit. And a rainwater harvesting unit is basically to collect all the water runoff and store it inside so that it can be used for recharging the ground or for domestic water usage. There are many types of rainwater harvesting. Two which I mentioned, groundwater recharge and rooftop rainwater harvesting, and the other one is for agriculture purposes using it. So what we have shown here is the rooftop rainwater harvesting. Mr. Rajesh is convinced by his son and he sets up a rainwater harvesting unit over his house. So the rainwater harvesting unit consists of a collection unit, all the gutter that goes around the house so that it can collect all the rainwater, pipes through which the rainwater can flow to the filter unit, and after the filter unit it is transferred to the storage unit. Through the storage unit it can go both ways, to the groundwater recharge and also for usage in the domestic usage. So Mr. Rajesh now set up all of his rainwater harvesting unit and anticipates for the rain to come. After the rain has fallen, the water that has been collected in the collection unit is going to come down through the pipe and into the filter unit. The filter unit that they have chosen is a simple filter unit with sand and gravel as the base. So this one was also what the sun has been taught in the environmental biotechnology as the primary treatment for water. So now all of the water goes through this filter and is collected in the storage unit, from which the water can now be used for giving water to the plants and filling up the well which has been completely dried. All of these, we have known all the advantages of rainwater harvesting, which involve replenishing of the groundwater and also to use it for all the kind of domestic purposes. But it's not that there are no disadvantages for using this unit. One of the biggest disadvantages of rainwater harvesting is that there are economic and poverty problems, because a person who is rich enough would be able to set up a rainwater harvesting unit, but a poor person might not be able to. So that's how something which is very important can be considered in less amount and can be made so that we can all save rainwater harvesting and use it. Thank you.
Good afternoon everyone. Myself Dharini. My group mates Meghna, Manali, Honey. We have make a model purifying the water, rainwater and industrial water. Mainly I'm going to start with the rainwater, rain dirt water. We will make it potable for as a drinking in a house. Basically if I am using this mud water, rain mud water in this, and it will pass to the tank. Firstly coagulation tank. In this we have used a stirrer which is made from a cover of sketch pen, which will normally move in a rotational manner, and it will make a positive and negative particles to bind and make a large particle. After from this we will pass that mud water to the second tank, which is flocculation tank. In this the stirrer will move in a horizontal and vertical manner, which will make a gently moving and making a large particle to pass to sedimentation tank. After this the water will pass to the sedimentation tank, and sedimentation tank, in this the solid particles and the large particles which are come over here, which will settle down, and the water will be the particles which are heavier than water will settle down in the sedimentation tank, and the pure water, not that much proper pure, but it will pass to this, which we have put a gravel in it. Somewhere the gravels are there, the gravel will put in this tank, then it will pass to the sand one, and then it will pass to the filtration tank. Likewise then you will have a filtrate water which we can use in the garden areas also and for a drinking purpose also. So basically this is the rainwater model, and now this is a small scale project, and this is a large scale project which is based on the industrial wastewater. Likewise the aim behind this is like industrial water is mainly passed to the water bodies and rivers and everywhere, and they are making pollutant. So by using normal air pump which is used in an aquarium to pass O2, from that we will pass O2 from that air pump, which will connect it to the scrubber, and then from that we have also connected the wire from 240 voltage wire, which will pass 240 voltage to the tube, and that will split the ultraviolet rays, will split the O2 into O3 and produce the ozone gas in the ozone generator tube. From that ozone gas will pass to the scrubber tube, and that scrubber will purify the water and pass that ozone gas, and so far that we will have a purified industrial water which is containing pesticides, bacteria, fungi, chemicals. After passing O3 everything will kill, and pure water we can pass directly to the water bodies. So this is can carried out in the industrial site only. We can purify the water from industrial site, and then we can pass this purified water into the water bodies. So we'll have a pure water by using a ozone generator. Thank you.
Good afternoon everyone. I am Aviral Chaudhary, and my teammates is Thana Mendirata and Rudri Vyas, Anika Bandyopadhyay and Janki Mehra. I'm going to present the working model on the soil moisture detector or auto gardening pump. So basically the objective is to utilize the water in a more efficient way and its application, so there is less water pollution in the form of surface pollutant and groundwater pollution, and also like prevent drying of field. And other than that, it's like we can use it more efficiently without the presence of physical surveillance of farmers. So it basically helps a lot in farming fields. So if you place it on the farming field, it will take almost 10 to 14 days for completely installation, and after that it requires like a pre-checking in 30 days, and completely it can work throughout the month without any surveillance. And other than that, the main principle behind that is that soil moisture detector that uses capacitance to measure the amount of water present in the soil. So like we are trying to measure the threshold water, and if that quantity or the quality of water goes down before that threshold quantity, so it gets automatically on and starts pumping into the fields, like paddy fields or rice fields where there is an amount of requirement of stagnant water, large amount of water. So we can use it there. Moreover, like as being a part of biotechnologist, we have tried to keep the things simple as we can, and also try to evaluate in the common sense the basic purpose. So we have used the temperature conditions are very practical here, like 10 to 30 degrees Celsius. Moreover, there is less requirement of current, like less than 5 ampere, and you can place it directly into the soil. You don't require any further labor process and all that stuff. So it's very simple. And if you look at the procedure, it uses only some few microchips and detectors and a simple battery. And even after that, we have tried to put a solar panel so that you can use solar energy as well, other than the electrical energy. So this is the main purpose of our project, and now we can present the working model here. So as I have mentioned, this is the soil moisture detector that uses the capacitance to measure the soil amount of water present in the soil. And here is like there is a completely wet soil, you can say. So yeah, so if we dip it in that and turn on the electricity, so there is no pumping of water into the field. Okay, so like, but if we put it into a dry soil, that is like completely dry, there is no water content in that. So if we put it in that, it will detect the absence of water, and it will pump the water into the field according to the requirement, and they cannot cut the requirement.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kahan Duwar, and my teammates are Maharshi, Dikshita, Sakshi, and Devanshi. We have created two projects. One is bioconcrete and one is insulating panel. I am going to explain what bioconcrete. Bioconcrete is also known as self-healing concrete. It can be used directly as a concrete, or we can use it as a cementing method. Both the methods can be used, and the speciality is that we have added bacteria which can heal automatically by producing calcium carbonate, which is the basic thing for cement, and which is also required for fixing the cracks that are formed during either during the making or after the making, after 10 to 5 years that cracks are formed. So basically we have added the bacteria that are lactobacillus, which can heal the bioconcrete easily, different methods, and also the bioconcrete is economically feasible, and it is generally used on small scale industry currently and not on large scale industry because the production is a bit costly. But as and when if we can make it in a large quantity, the cost will be reduced, and also it is also environmentally friendly because the dust produced is comparatively less, and also it can easily be recycled once it is broken.
Hello, I'm Maharshi Patel, and I'm going to explain about the insulating panel. The primary goal of insulating panel is to develop a durable panel. It reduces the heat transfer, it absorbs the humidity, and it is cost efficient. Basically, it is used between the cavity walls as it absorbs the temperature and the climate control. It is basically made from the organic waste, food waste, paper waste, and we have added natural latex which helps to compatibility and the strength of it. It can also be used as a cladding purpose for the external and the interior, as it helps. It is eco-friendly, and it helps to not providing the resins polymer material which is released from the other chemical like flagstone and the other walls which are made from the chemical waste.
Hello everyone, my name is Manushi Thakkar, and here are my group mates Ayushi, Zeel, Daksh, Kabir and Edison. We created the hydroponic system. The basic principle of hydroponic system is we don't need any kind of soil to grow the plant, but we provide the macro and micronutrient via water. So here this system deals with the three problems. First, the soil management. In recent time, there is a lot of crisis of soil. So here we don't need any kind of soil to grow the plant. So we are dealing with the first issue, soil management. Second, the water management. Here we use the RO waste water for the growth of the plant. So we are dealing with the second issue, water management. And the third issue is we here reuse the plastic bottles and plastic cups. In our system, we try to grow spinach, lettuce, moong and groundnut. Here we use these two nutrients for our plants to grow. In India, recently there are 40 hydroponic plants that are active and that give 13.53% of growth rate to India. Thank you.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. Today me and my team members are going to present among you the hydroelectric power plant. My name is Ayushi Christian, Neil, Pearl, Jessica and Bernard. We have 3 units. First is the filtration unit, other is the turbine unit and third is the application unit. In the filtration unit, we have made this filtration part wherein we have used charcoal, gravel, sand in order to filter the water. The principle of the filtration unit is to keep the water clean, free of chemicals of industries. That water is then stored in this tank and then it falls on the turbine and the turbine moves in a circular motion which then produces electricity. That electricity when produced, it is used for several approaches. Many of the approaches are like it is used for to fill the swimming pool, it is used for irrigation purposes, it is used we have introduced one new approach and that is for the storage of seeds. Many a times certain seeds they need storage at high temperature or low temperature. For that maintenance of high temperature or low temperature we have made the heat box here and for that we have used the electricity. Other uses of the hydroelectric power plant are mostly for the heavy industries as it produces a lot of energy. Even the dams here produces hydroelectricity and that produces a lot of energy which can be used for several purposes.
Good afternoon everyone, this is Khushi Patel and here's my group Riva, Delin, Riya and Trishita. And we all know how plastic is such a big threat to us and our environment. So here we present an alternative to such a danger. It is known as bioplastic. Bioplastics are plastic materials produced from biodegradable materials like food waste, vegetable oils and fats, starch and sawdust and wood chips, etc. So here we have made a few samples from cornstarch and the other ingredients include glycerin, vinegar, food dyes, etc. They are mainly used to produce pipes and various parts of mobile phones and medical implants and so on. So here we have made a few samples including the same ingredients but at varying amounts. So here we have a plastic which is harder and can be used to make parts of various machines. And we have a little bit flexible bioplastic which can be used to make plastic bottles and bags. So now why should we prefer bioplastic over normal plastics? There are several reasons, like first of all it is biodegradable, so it can be decomposed by microorganisms within weeks or months. Secondly, it reduces the use of fossil fuel resources which are used in the production of petroleum-based plastic. Also, bioplastic has a smaller carbon footprint, which means that it emits less greenhouse gas as compared to normal plastic. Also, we can see many animals like cattle and birds dying of eating food covered in plastic bags. This is because normal plastic contains a very hazardous chemical known as bisphenol A or BPA. It affects our central nervous system, it affects our blood pressure, it can cause diabetes and various cardiovascular diseases. So using bioplastic, we can avoid such a harmful chemical. So I would like to conclude that bioplastic is a new generation plastic which is gaining popularity because of its nature, which is biodegradable, and so it can be stated as an eco-friendly product. Thank you.
My name is Pratusha. My group members are Sapna Kumari, Khushi Patel, Khushi Bua, and Surbhi Singh. Our project is based upon poultry waste management. So, the poultry waste are of 3 types: the dead chicken debris, the water which is used to wash the litter, and the litter also. So, the first waste, the dead chicken debris, we can use them as an insulator and generate the heat. The other dead chicken debris are used to feed the fish like piranhas. Next, the litter. The litter we use as a composter. We compost it and use in the field which is site in the poultry farm. The next, the water. So the water we use as a water treatment plant and reuse at the field, and also plants the plants which is around the poultry farm also. The next, the more water means if the water content is large, we can use as a eutrophication system. Like we pour the water in a deserted area, and slowly the deserted area is converted into a farming land. So we can convert a deserted land to a farming land. And the last thing is the foul smell which is generated from the poultry waste. It can be managed by planting the plants near them, and the plants are absorb their waste things. And in the summer time also, the temperature is so high that the chickens are not survive. So due to only these plants, the temperature is also cooled down, and it is a sustainable, which means it generates electricity, it generates their own water system, and even they generate food for the other animals also. The farm is generally located near the village. We always see that this farm is always in sides the village. So the villagers can also help to make the composter more better. They can also give their cow dungs, the cows which produce the cow dungs, and make the composter. And they also use the composter as the biofertilizer in their field. So it helps the villagers also and helps the nature to sustain both simultaneously. Thank you.